breaking my back, yeah. You never had it. You're always calling me trash and you hate my habits. You never took the chance to look back and see the damage. The words you put in my heart, the things you took for granted. You say I'm dumb, I'm stupid, that's not how you do it. I'ma do it my way. I'ma do it my way. Say what you need to say, but I'ma do it. I'ma do it my way. I'ma do it my way. Say what you need to say, but I'ma do it. I'ma do it my way. You say never, never, never enough. Why is it never, never, never enough? For me to feel fine, get half my money, it's fine. I'm lost, I'm drunk, I'm high, I'm but still stoned. Why is it never, never, never enough? At the end of each drink, hope to find my relief. At the bottom of maybe one, keep 'em coming, I'm never drunk.
Can you hear me? Can you see me, Betty?
Yes, I can. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. Look at you. Look at that compound. I dig it. Artistic. Such great vibes coming out of there. Yeah.
Just set it all up, made it all pretty good background.
Clean chakras, great vibes. I feel the whole thing. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's fun. I had fun putting it up.
Awesome. So should I call you Betty, right? Not Taylor.
Yeah, you can call me Betty.
All right, Betty. Awesome. So, this is a great way to spend a Wednesday afternoon for us. We're recording this on a Wednesday, obviously, because, mistakes made, Betty. What an EP. We had a chance to preview it. It comes out on September 3rd. But I have to tell you, man, it's just stunning. It's just absolutely wonderful. From the first notes of On My Mind to Misunderstood, it's like such a journey. It just reminded me of the first time I heard, Fiona Apple and Sarah Bareilles. It's just all the feels in your face, just a wonderful piece. So congratulations there, Betty.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, it is. It's basically a journey throughout the whole EP.
Yeah, it's awesome. And of course, you've released some good songs this year as well. Fall Apart, Never Enough, and My Way. And but Happy, I keep going back to Happy from the new one because it's one of the best songs we've heard all year, period. It's such a good song. I don't even know if you realize how good of a song Happy is. Do you know how good of, it's just great.
I love that song. I think it's like one of the best kind of for explaining kind of how I go through my depression and my coping skills for it.
Yeah.
And I was like a little iffy about the song at first because it's really just 2 verses in the chorus. But once we put that instrumentation in it and everything, I think it just came together so well. I'm so happy with it.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. But, we'll get to the songs in a minute, Betty. But let me start with this. And the big question is, and be honest, you've been to Berklee, you've been around music. Can a musician be made, Betty? Like, in other words, if my neighbor, John Smith, puts 10,000 hours starting tomorrow and picks up an instrument, can he become a musician or are you born with it?
Absolutely. I think if you have the drive and the passion, you can absolutely be a musician or just do something around music. Music is so open and there's so many things that you can do in music therapy, film scoring, writing music and everything. So just exploring it and really being passionate about it. Absolutely. I think anybody could really dive into it.
I dig that. Because you sometimes hear about people like Paul McCartney that, when they were like babies, they could pick up an instrument, but those are like virtuosos. Those are like the exception, I guess, is what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely people are born with it. I feel like I was definitely born with my voice and it was given to me and I just, continued to build on it. But I know like Lizzo said she never even sang and then she trained herself and look at her now. She's fantastic.
So. I love that. I love that. And actually, let me grab on something you said there. Obviously, your great-grandparents, they composed music, they performed in New York City in the 20s. Like, you come from a long lineage of musical family, right? Piano teacher, your grandfather was a wedding nightclub band singer, bass player, the whole thing.
Research.
No, but it's true. It's fair to say that it's in your DNA, Betty. Like, how old were you when you first realized that, that you had this inside of your blood?
I would say I was around 4 years old when I really started kind of being that awkward child sitting in the corner singing to myself. And I loved when my grandfather would play and he'd bring me up on stage, and I was just like, this is wonderful. This is where I'm meant to be. I just know it.
You just felt alive. You felt
I
like
just felt
yourself.
it. Yeah. As soon as I would sing when I was younger, I was like, I'm gonna be a singer. Don't know what that means, but I'm gonna be a singer.
That's cool. That's cool. But it's amazing, like, okay, you were a great singer as a baby, you knew it, but the songwriting, you also started so young. You started at 11. Tell me a little bit about this song, Invisible, because that's pretty deep stuff for an 11-year-old.
Yeah, so long ago, but yeah, that was my first song I ever wrote. I remember coming out of theater camp actually, and I just was in such a musical, I guess, space in my head, and I just started writing it, and I was pretty proud of it. I mean, it's it's definitely a
It's
song
great.
written by an 11-year-old, but
But
I
it's
think
but it comes from a place like your music, is like bright and positive, and there's hope, but it comes from dark places sometimes. And Invisible is the same, right? Because your parents weren't home, they were both full-time parents, and you felt like you were by yourself, invisible.
yeah, I definitely felt alone as a child. My dad worked very hard, but he was a single dad, and my mom was with my stepdad, so it was very back and forth. So I'd feel, yeah, kind of lonely as a kid, and I think writing was definitely one of my biggest coping skills and singing, because the singing filled the house, so it wasn't a quiet house when I was singing in it. And
I love that.
yeah, writing was always just a great way to get my feelings out. And I'm dyslexic, so you read it and you'd be like, you have to decode it and what's going on,
Right.
but I know what it says.
It's like the Matrix. I love it.
Yeah. It's
Oh my
exactly
God.
it.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Betty. And of course, all right, let me ask you about Newton High, because were you like the most popular girl in high school, basically? Because you were like the star?
God, no. I was the awkward outsider. I hung out with more of the troublemaker kids, I guess you could say. But no,
Cool.
we just had a harder time in school, and we all related to each other with that, me and my friends that I hung out with. So I wasn't really part of any popular crowds or anything like that. I didn't join any sports group. I didn't even do the theater because there was so much bullying in my school. I didn't feel safe. I never really felt that safe in that school, and so I really didn't go a lot. But I kept my grades up. I worked as hard as I could because I knew that, or I thought that graduating high school was the only way to continue my journey to get to my career. And
Yeah.
that could have not been true, or it could have been true, but I'm so proud of myself of making it through something that was really hard for me. And
Interesting.
I got to
Yeah.
go to Berklee because of it. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
been able to go to Berklee if I didn't finish high school. So I'm ecstatic about it. But no, I was not a popular girl. I was one of the weird ones for sure.
Cool. Well, whatever path you've taken, it served you well. And yeah, you went to Berklee. And the cool thing about you, Betty, is that you not only went to Berklee, like, and you did the thing, one of the hardest music schools in the world, but you had a purpose. Like, I'll give you an example. You had the senior recital, right? And what was it, like strong women who use music to speak out against what is wrong? Like you organized this. Like music that reflects the challenges women faced in society and in the music industry. So you always had like a driving force bigger than yourself. Tell me a little bit about this. It's wonderful.
Yeah, my senior recital at Berklee, which was so much fun. I got to perform in the CAF, which is like this great big stage, and I called it "Talking About a Revolution" because Tracy Chapman "Talking About a Revolution" was one of the songs that I did picked for it, and I wanted it to be I wanted to pick songs that I felt like resonated with kind of resonated with songs that talk about what's going on and what's happening, and having, like you said, having that kind of sadness to it, but it's still this overcoming joy that comes through as well. And I love that type of music. I think it's so powerful. And I really wanted my senior recital to kind of reflect on just how I wanted to reflect on who I am and who I want to put myself out as through the artists that I chose.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. And it's coming across loud and clear. Like, you know, in a couple, let's talk about a few of your songs. Like, for example, Karma. I mean, it's a gorgeous song. I mean, the lyrics, man, everyone, you know, you got your karma, you got your karma, you know, but like, or her, right? Like such high energy, but at the same time playful, but with like a dark underwriting under it.
Yeah.
In both of these songs, Betty, it almost sounds like liberation anthems. Would that be accurate? It almost
Yes,
sounds like you're
absolutely.
like just celebrating being free.
Absolutely. It's this whole theme of overcoming. And it's throughout this whole EP, but definitely Karma. And that's why I really chose it as the first one, because I think it really lays out what this EP is about. And it's about living your best life, knowing your worth, and letting mistakes and things that happen be a learning curve and a lesson that you can take with you in the future.
Yeah. Totally. But you know, that phrase, living your best life, it's used quite a bit, but I think it almost has lost because it's used so much. Like, you know, it's so powerful. Like the way, like what you've done really is living your best life, like really. You know, you've overcome stuff, Betty, and it's one of your most amazing things. What is the secret to turning like life's curveballs into light? Because you've done a really good job at it, at least expressing it.
Yeah, so like I suffer from depression and anxiety, which can be a dark part in my life. And I really try to stay positive and even let those sad days happen. Those are so important, to feel the sadness and to let it, even if it takes that whole day, just let it simmer in and let that darkness be, because that's how you find the light. You need that darkness to find the light. And it might not be the best, and it might be, you know, rough when you're in the situation itself, but getting out of it, it makes it feel so much better. It makes that happiness that you feel more powerful than it ever felt before, because you know what it's like to feel the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's almost like, okay, this is part of life. We're all gonna face it. Don't try to fight it, ride the waves kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Ride the waves. Because when you fight it, it just makes it so much harder. And I feel like it starts to internalize, like you're not being where you want to be, or doing what you, but that's okay, because it will come eventually and you just have to roll with it. And I just try to keep that in my head, because I can't just keep the sad thoughts, or else it's just going to bring me down. I need to have those positives. So like I wrote, I'll get by, because that's one of my positive coping mechanisms, positive words to reinforce not saying negative things to myself.
Sure. Well, let me just, you know, before going any further, I want to reinforce that your album is such a ball of light, and you have something really special happening here. Like we can't wait for the world to hear it. It's gonna be it's special. It just has special themes in it. It's like a blessed EP. It really is.
Oh, thank you so much. You're so freaking sweet.
No, it really is. It really is. Like it's just wonderful, and like, you know, happy. You know, another great song. You know, what's that lyric? When it comes to opening my heart, I wouldn't even know where to start. I truly never know what to say. I don't even know why I am this way. I mean, nothing will stand in my way. You come out later. It's such a beautiful, heart on your sleeve stuff, man. I mean, yeah, like I said, one of the best songs we've heard in a long time. What is the process for writing a song like this, Betty? Because did it just pour out of you, or was it like a disciplined Nashville approach, you know, writing session? Because it's special.
I write all my songs actually pretty differently. Sometimes I start with my guitar, sometimes I just have the vocals, or sometimes I just have lyrics and I don't have a melody with it. For this one, I actually was playing on my guitar, playing with some chords, and I found the melody line. And I was like, all right, this melody line kind of has this positive to it, but also like a little bit of a like a haunting melodic feel to it. So I was like, okay, I really like this. And I started just kind of writing down the lyrics like right away. They'd all just kind of popped right in there. And I was like, oh, I love this. And then I got into the chorus, and I just kept playing. And as soon as I pick out that melody that I hear while I'm playing, I just let words slip out and
Oh, that's great.
capture whatever I really like. And
You like record like with your phone? Like I'm fascinated by the process. Like when you're like just throwing words out, you're recording.
I try. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I forget to have my recording on. I'm like, oh no, what was that line? It was so good. But I do try to remember, oh, I'm writing a song right now. Have to put my my thing on so that I don't forget anything that I do.
Amazing, Betty. Amazing. Well, listen, you're being so good with your time, and I hear that you may play a song for us, but I want to ask you a question too, about relationships, and this is, because it's such a big part of your music and of your themes. Um, you had, the end of a hard relationship, but this is a universal theme. This is not like a Betty theme. But what can you share? Because you're like on the other side, like, and you were very public about it in your music about a toxic relationship, something that was holding you back, the struggle to let loose of it, finally doing it, and then flourishing. What can you like tell people out there that are going through this thing, whether they're married, whether they're in a long term, whatever, about this whole process and your experience with it?
Yeah, I actually find that it was really hard for me to understand that even though this person, and I'm not going to like say who specifically, but even though this person I know loves me, and you kind of have to love each other in like the way that it is. And once I realized that it was toxic, it was not helping me, and every word that was put into my head and my heart was not acceptable. But I wouldn't accept that because no, this person, I have to be part of this person's life. That's just the way it is. And it's not, no matter what, even if family, love, friends, anything, if a person is toxic to you, if a person makes you feel horrible about yourself, you have to cut them out. You have until they grow. Like you could always be like, I can't be around you until you're ready to not bring me down every second that you have. It's so important to surround yourself with positive people that tell you the truth, of course, oh, that doesn't sound good, but you don't have to say, that sounds stupid, that sounds horrible, you shouldn't do that. There's always just better ways to go about, being critical of someone. And you just have to find the right people to do that, but also have your back and not make you feel like you're not worth anything. So to anyone out there who feels I have to stick by this person because that's just the way it is, it's not. And you don't.
Yeah.
You can better yourself by letting that person go, because it did. Letting that person go has really helped me flourish. I've been doing makeup and like doing things that I wasn't confident enough to do because I was always told no, or that's ugly or whatever. Or you're doing it wrong and things like that. And then I realized I'm supposed to do it wrong. It's supposed to be bad at first because that's how I learn. That's how I make it. And I don't need to be reprimanded for doing it bad at first. I just, need that little push. And you just need to find those people in your life that are there for you. And
Exactly.
yeah, that's what I would have to say about that.
It's true. I mean, growth is messy, right? Like I agree with you.
Yeah, and it's hard, especially when you really love the person. Like unconditional love is kind of hard when it's there, but it's so important, especially people who are like me that suffer from depression and anxiety. It's so important for us to surround ourselves with light and not darkness.
Exactly. And everyone deserves that, and I think that some of my listeners know, like, that no, but like, yeah, I went through a divorce as well. And it's like, yeah, man, like sometimes you got to go through that leap of faith, that fear. But like you say, growth is messy, whether it's a caterpillar turning into a butterfly, then it breaks, or whether it's a baby leaving the womb because it's just like tight, and then there's growth. Growth is messy.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
But anyway, Betty, you've been so good with your time. And is it true you may play a song for us?
Yeah, I would love to play a song for you.
Oh my God, amazing. We're so blessed. Look at that.
Yeah.
You rock, man.
So hopefully she's stay tuned. All right.
Beautiful guitar.
So I was either going to play Karma or Misunderstood. What would you want me to play?
What are you feeling? What are you feeling inside yourself? You're feeling karma?
Yeah.
All right. I love it.
My Karma shirt on. I wore this for my photos and videos. So
look at you. Look at you, the coolest girl ever. Awesome.
All right. Yeah. So this is Karma. I'll play the first verse and the chorus. Sound good? All right. Let's do it. Yeah. Ooh. No. Something's off. My
Don't worry.
bad.
We can edit this out if you want. It's
So sorry. This is
love it. It's
my
real life.
guitar just doesn't want. There we go. She's better now. Okay, here we go. Yeah. There she is. Said it's me, you're never wrong. Cause you know I'd hang on. I'd hang on. Every word used against me. Tore apart my dignity. My dignity. But I learned that I'm strong. And my world keeps moving on. I'm moving on. I hope you see I won. And you got your karma. You got your karma. Hope you see I won. And you got yours. Yeah, you got your karma. Yeah, yeah, you got yours. You got yours.
Unbelievable. Betty, you have said it all. What an amazing artist. What an amazing EP you have. What an amazing soul. So just congratulations on just building what you're building there because it's unique.
Thank you so much. It has been so wonderful talking to you.
Absolutely.
I just had the most wonderful, 20 minutes of my life right now.
Ah, rock. Well, listen, love it. Like when you start playing, we live in Nashville. We're recording from the Gulch, and yeah, we'll definitely catch you. And when the EP comes out, come back. Maybe we can even do an in-person show.
Oh, I would love that. I would
Awesome.
love that so much.
Wonderful. Keep rocking.
Thank you so much. You have
All
a
right.
good one. Thank you.